To create the wire heart of the earring, measure about 6 inches, I suppose that's about 10-12 centimeters, and that really depends on the size of the heart. Bend the wire in two, so I'm just going to make one and show you on one, and then you'll duplicate it for the other. So squeeze the double end with your flat nose pliers to completely double up that wire. It'll take a little while just to get it to be completely sort of close, and it is a bit tricky, but just, you know, bear with me. And when it's actually doubled, then get your round nose pliers and create a loop. So just making a link with a doubled wire. Once you've got your loop, hold it with your flat nose pliers again and separate the two wires out, so it's like a V, holding that double loop at the center. Now you're going to make the sides of the heart. So if you don't have bail making pliers like I'm using, you can always use a pen or a pencil to create one side of the heart, the shoulder of one of the heart, and then the other shoulder and the other side. So you're just wanting something to wrap around. And now it's up to you whether you want to make the heart long or you want to make it sort of chubby. It's, you know, you decide where you're going to cross over those wires. And now you're going to wrap one wire around the other to secure. So I'm just making a little kink in the wire and then wrapping the wire round. Just grip it so that it doesn't distort, and wrap the excess wire around to secure it. So you've got the tip of your heart there and it's nicely secured. If you've got too much wire, you can cut off the excess, and if you have masses of extra, you can always make a little spiral there. So now it's nicely secured. You just want to make sure there's no sort of sticky out end or spiky end, because when they're earrings, you don't, or even if you're making this as a necklace, you don't want any of the wires to be poking out and to, you know, sort of pick on your hair or anything like that. So spend a little time adjusting it and making sure there's no ends that are protruding. Now you're going to hammer the outer edge of the wire on a steel block with your whammer hammer. That will create a nice firm outer frame. And so just make sure you don't hit the center. Otherwise you'll flatten it and you'll remove the central double link. So make sure you hammer the outer frame, and now it's nice and firm and it won't distort. So you can decorate it with a bead in the center and maybe a bead at the stem. So I've got two little crystals. I'm going to feed that on to the end of my 0.8 silver plated wire and create a little head pin. So I've just doubled the wire over to make a little loop, and then I've pushed the bead down. I'm going to take a little bit of the excess off so that it's very, very neat and there's not too much. That's how you get a really nice, neat head pin. And there the bead will sit and not fall off. Now leave enough to make a link at the other end of the bead. So you'll bend that excess wire to a right angle to the bead and then create a link at the top. And by doing that bend, the link will sit nice and central to the bead. Open up the link sideways and link it in or connect it in to that doubled link of the heart. And then it will be nicely suspended at the center and dangle when you wear it. You can put another little bead or crystal, whatever you have to hand, whatever colors you want to use, and you'll just thread that on to the end of the heart frame. And here again, if you've got loads of wire, you can make a little spiral, or you can just make a neat head pin, or you could make another link and hang something else from that as well if you want to make really long earrings or a pendant. And there's the heart frame ready to go. So that's how you make the actual heart. And then to suspend it from a chain or from ear wires, you want to create some links or jump rings. So I'm creating a little load of rings there that I can cut to create into jump rings. So you just find the last cut end and cut through, creating beautiful little circular links. Always open your jump rings up sideways so that you don't distort the circle, and then you feed that in to the back of that double link that you made right in the beginning. And you want to feed 3 jump rings on together to create a little chain. So I've put 1 jump ring on, fed the other one on, and now I'm just going to put the 3rd and final jump ring onto there. That means that the heart will be suspended at the right angle when I put a chain through it or when I put an earring wire through it. And always make sure that it's nicely closed, that jump ring is nicely closed, so it's not going to fall apart. And now you're ready to, if you're going to use it as an earring, you want to make an ear wire. Now you might have ready-made ear wires already to hand, but I can show you how to make a little spiral ear wire here. So create a little tiny hook at the end of, it's about 3 inches of wire there, depends how long you want it, and curl that around into a spiral. So I'm going to make a small spiral, I don't want it too huge. Then I'm going to centralize that spiral, so I just bend a little kink in there and bring it up so that it's central to the rest of the wire protruding. Now I'm going to hold it tight with the chain nose pliers, and I'm pulling and twisting with the flat nose pliers. What that's doing is it is strengthening that wire. Now it's work hardened it. It's nice and strong. I'm going to use my round nose pliers just to bend that up to create a little sort of loop just after that spiral. That's where my earring can sit. And then with a pen, or if you've got bail makers like me, create the bigger ear wire loop which can sit in your ear. So, and then just make a little curve at the end that feeds onto the ear. You can also hammer the rounded end of this ear wire to, if you feel it needs extra strength. And then you'll feed the last loop at the top of the heart all the way through so that it sits in that inner loop just under the spiral. And there you have a lovely homemade or handcrafted spiral ear wire. And you'll do exactly the same to make, repeat the whole thing for the other earring. And here's another pair that I made earlier. So they're out of copper wire with different beads, but they're just perfect for Valentine's Day.